I'm your host, Assistant Sports Editor Joe Deacon, and with me again is Randy Kindred, our Sports Editor. Hello, Randy.
Hi, Joe. How's it going?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good. Well, we've arrived at the semifinals, and we've got one team remaining. It's the Knights of Fieldcrest High School, program that had no postseason victories before this year, and now they're 2 wins away from a possible state championship.
Yeah, it really is a great story. I mean, it's one of those for years and years it was get over that playoff hump and get a win, and now that they have, then the Moments game in the second round was just one of those magical finishes, and once they got past that hurdle, you really had the feeling that this might go all the way to Champaign in the sate title game, and now they're 1 win away from that.
Yeah, the Knights, their semifinal game on Saturday, 2 p.m. They're going to Lanark for Eastland Pearl City Co-op. They have a few things in common with their semifinal opponent. Both teams are 12-0 and #1 seeds in Class 2A. Fieldcrest is coming off a 45-22 win over Clifton Central, and the Wildcats, that's Wildcats with a Z, they were a 41-21 winner over Rock Ridge.
Yeah, and I talked to the coach, Randy Aish of Eastland Pearl City. I forgot to ask him what's the deal with the Z,
Yeah, I was wondering.
Bad reporting on my part. But anyway, yeah, they're a team that he said they have 10 guys who play both ways, which I think is more than Fieldcrest does. Fieldcrest, I know, talking to their receivers last week, most of those guys just play offense. So that might be one area that Fieldcrest has an edge in this game as the game wears on, that Eastland might have a few more guys going both ways, and but they do have a big lineman, Austin Fisher, I believe his name, had 12 tackles last week, and a 280-pound guy that obviously Fieldcrest has Jared Reeds, who's 6'5", 290, going to ISU, but the coach said that Fisher's a big guy, but he's a lot shorter. He's called him a short farm boy, so, but he's tough as nails, I guess. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, similar also in that Fieldcrest has a running back in Grant Jokums who puts up a lot of yards. Eastland also had a running back named Walter Ollie who had 204 yards and 2 long touchdown runs in the semifinal, or quarterfinal win, I should say. And he's doing it with a torn meniscus in his knee that he suffered in the first playoff game.
Yeah, that's an amazing thing right there. And yeah, the coach said that against Spring Valley Hall in the second round, he was probably about 60 to 70% healthy. He rated him probably about 80 to 85% last week in that game, and so I'm sure he's playing through some pain and that kind of thing. But if he can get over 200 yards in the shape he was in last week, I imagine he's going to feel even better by this Saturday. But that'll be a big key to the game, obviously. If Fieldcrest can limit him the way they did last week against Ben Toberman of Clifton Central, they didn't let him run wild, and if they can do the same thing with Ollie, I like their chances.
Yeah, both teams last week kind of got down a little. Eastland allowed touchdowns in the first 2 series for Rock Ridge, and Fieldcrest gave up a touchdown on Clifton's first series. But that big offensive line of Fieldcrest, they allowed Jokums to rush up for 223 yards and a couple scores. Drew Barth got a couple scores. Good, big running game for the Knights.
Yeah, and that can kind of dominate a game and then just take the heart out of your opponent if you just get that running game going. And we saw it a few years ago with Lexington with T.J. Stindy. Teams struggled to stop him, and Jokums kind of reminds me of that. He just, every week they just kind of keep wearing down the opponent, and the holes get a little bigger as the game goes on, and he's got the speed to take advantage of it. And so if they can get that big offensive line led by Reeds going, it could be a tough task for Eastland Pearl City.
Yeah, indeed. So they're both top seeded, and the winner of this matchup could be favored in the championship game in Champaign on the day after Thanksgiving. The other side of the bracket has a 6th-seeded Maroa Forsyth and a 5th-seeded Tuscola team.
Yeah, they both, as you know, they both have good traditions. They both have won some state titles, but I did see Maroa Forsyth against Tri Valley in the first round of the playoffs. They've got a terrific player in Jack Hockaday, the quarterback, and also he's a ton on defense. And So if it would be Maroa Forsyth, he would be clearly the focus of what Fieldcrest would have to stop, but obviously you gotta get there first.
Yep,
And
indeed.
I know that's their mindset.
Yeah, one game at a time for sure. Well, that's going to do it for our look at Fieldcrest semifinal matchup for the week. Be sure to check back on the site or get a copy of Sunday's Pantagraph for our coverage of the game. And if the Knights win, come back again next week for our video look at the championship match. Thanks for watching.